Papa Jerome is trying to discipline the investors, the markets, and the kids are screaming, but he is staying cold, cold as ice. With that analogy, I want to start in this week's market update. My name is Peter, and on my channel, I'm going to provide you with everything you need to navigate the stock markets, the crypto markets, and the macro perspectives. And it has been the press conference of the Federal Reserve again. A lot of uncertainty has arisen, maybe because of the articulation of Jerome. Some say that was expected, others say that was unnecessary torture for the investors. I'm going to tell you what I think and what other very expertise perspectives think of the announcement of the Federal Reserve now. Let's jump in with this. And first of all, what is the main thing you have to take away from the latest meeting of the Federal Reserve? And it's mainly that they are going to stay on course. What they have announced in December and late last year is that they are going to increase the rates and that they are doing this in a faster pace. And that's nothing new, to be honest. But what is new is that markets thought when the kids are crying, that what I wanted to describe you in the beginning was when the kids are crying, maybe Papa Jerome is going to come and say, okay, no, that was a little bit too much, kids. Here you have some ice creams. No joke. It's just like they thought when the corrections are heavy enough, then Jerome Powell is going to step back a little bit, saying, okay, maybe that's already enough what we have been done. But what have they done already? I think there's nothing really what they have done except that they give the expectations to investors that maybe something is going to come. But in general, the plan is that the bond purchases are going to end as early as the assets purchases are going to end as early as March. And as well that they are going to decrease the balance sheet. And generally what he also has stated is that in his opinion, the fundamentals of the economy in the US is definitely pointing towards the fact that the economy is going in the right direction, everything is running smoothly, there is no reason for such accelerated heights of the balance sheet. And I think that they are going to stay on track with that. But I'm going to show you what the market has predicted, what the investors are going to show to as a reaction to this announcement. And immediate sell off of the stocks, especially again in the tech area. Bonds have risen, and what you can see like overall over the market, there is a lot of blood. 10 years, 2 years treasuries are increasing at a fast pace. Like the upwards trend is still continuing. Nothing has changed from that. What was very interesting was that based on the historical data 2 years, the days before the press conference, this time has been one of the most volatiles in recent recent years, in recent time. And I think that's a very interesting thing to see how much power actually like this guy has. And I think you have to take it like in kind of like a relation, because national politics, financial politics doesn't even move the markets anymore as crazy as announcement of this guy do in recent times. And Federal Reserve is the one who's ruling the world. Here for the stocks, yeah, as I said already, tech sell-offs overall over the markets. We can see like that the FANG stocks, like the big companies like Microsoft, Apple, Google, Facebook have sold massively off, and yeah, overall, like also like smaller tech companies like growth stocks like Peloton, they have experienced a huge sell-off over the last weeks, and I think that is going to continue somehow because like generally nothing has changed yet from what in the overall macro perspective is going to happen and what the investors have to expect yet. How this is going to develop in the future is something different, but now we have to see, like, from what we know as an information from now, this trend is likely to continue. What was very interesting as well is that it starts that crypto is, or generally Bitcoin, is something that investors start to treat like tech stocks. And that was especially here. You can see that here on the right side, on the upper corner, is that the correlation between the Nasdaq and Bitcoin has been on some of the highest levels overall since the Corona crisis. And yeah, this is like something like a new phenomenon, because like we had over the years before, we had something like, yeah, there was positive correlation, negative correlation, like in an upside downtrend. And now now what we see is that there is more like of a correlation between like the tech stocks and the crypto market. What is on the contrary is that we see that, for example, for gold, which is like the most likely thing you could compare cryptocurrencies with, is not at all correlated since they're very interesting to point out. Now we look at the charts, and yeah, the downtrend has been continuing. We had a little bit of a relief. That was like because of some hopium looking forward for the Federal Reserve meeting. But this, when you look at the short time frames from yesterday, it was very, very funny, I think, to see how the market reacted to the announcement. And it was like, okay, that's positive? No, maybe it's not, or maybe it is. So it was like very volatile situation in there. Now we are a little bit stepping back. I think that maybe like turned out to be a fake out. Generally, we can say that overall, you know, like the altcoins have sold off massively. So when you were very high into altcoins, there are some huge losses you have to book in. When we look at the index, you might remember from the last sessions that I talked to you about how the altcoin index is at very like altcoin season territory, but it was a very weird constellation with compared to the overall Bitcoin dominance. Like, it was a very seldom situation that has occurred, and it turned out that there was like now kind of like a fake fake protection on that, because now we see that we are definitely shifting back. And overall on the market, altcoin market, we see that there were huge sell-offs overall. Solana has sold off, I think, probably like 30 to 35% over the last week. Still, this is a very interesting project, and I asked you last time what projects you are interested in. We did a survey, and Solana was one of the coins I will be looking into. Some more later on to that. And now, the question is, who's right? Plan C, the next plan after Plan B. He says that maybe like this correction is rather like in a late stage now, and maybe he expects some upwards movement now. there is like still he has still some hopium in that, but that's like some like two different dimensions. Yeah, standing in the opposite. On the contrary, we have Nassim Taleb, who is now asking the questions, what is Bitcoin? Where's the real value now? As the price decreased, like people are in extreme fear. So that there's what you can see is that we are with Bitcoin not already in the territory where we can say like it is yet a store of value. It is still a speculative asset, and yeah, why is now making it like cheaper in the price, or when the price is going down, why does it make it now cheaper to the people? Because he thinks, where is the value, like where's the comparison to value? But what I think is that we are with Bitcoin in a very early stage, where we have to discover where this might be going. But I think like the fundamental thing is that we have to take away is the technology behind it, and that there is some need in some areas of the world, and also like an inner need in the society, that maybe like a decentralized asset is part of the needs to be fulfilled. But we are definitely not in this area yet. Now to on-chain data. The question arises, has this already been the sell-off? Is maybe coming more? Is there going to be more blood in the streets? And yeah, I think it's a little bit two-sided. From the net unrealized profit and loss, we can see that there have been some similar actions in the past when we look at previous cycles, and it points in the direction that this might be an early phase of a bear market. But I'm really not a real supporter of on-chain data, because you have to look at the macros first. These are the ones who are ruling what on-chain is doing. But when we look at what we have from historical data, we see that it starts that long-term hodlers, for example, they are rather going into some increased losses now. Short-term holders, which has been, from the previous cycle, when we had these like little decline phases, this was the beginning of a bear market. But I think that it all depends on how the overall markets and the overall macro policy is going, on which directions they are going. And we also have to look at the fact that we are in the previous phase of mass adoption, and I think that's something we have to look out as well, and also consider that when we think this is an asset which could perform in the next few years positively. Yeah, now we come to an end, and guys, I told you that I'm going to dive deeper into some projects, and I've asked you and you have voted for Solana, and I'm going to dive into Floki as well. Just a short question for you. In which cases I should look like, in which areas I should look like in particular for Solana, for Floki? What especially like points are you interested in? Just give me some hints in the comments there, and I'm going to provide you with everything you need to know about these projects, and I hope you can get a lot of value out of this. Yeah, now we come to an end. Thank you very much for listening. And if you like that content, please give me a smash on the like button. Also subscribe to my channel. And give me some hints in the comment section what else you want to be included in these market updates. This is very valuable and very helpful for me, that I can provide you with the value that you need. Yeah, thanks so much, and I see you next week as well here.